The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now, packaging waste makes up about 1/3 of domestic waste disposed of in Singapore. Yet, while more than half of this packaging is plastic, less than 10% is being recycled. Thankfully, pressing problems like this often breed innovative solutions. Alterpacks is a Singapore-based startup that uses garbage and transforms them into food containers. And its inception boils down to one woman's mission to reduce waste. So to find out more, joining me today here in the studio is Karen Cheah, who is the founder and CEO of Alterpacks. Hi, Karen. Welcome to the show. Karen, you started Alterpacks back in 2019, and the story of how the startup was founded is an interesting one. So tell us, what inspired you to start a company that focuses on sustainability and food waste as a foundation of Alterpacks?
Well, the genesis, like you said, really was on garbage. And it really boiled down to all the travels that I did. I would go around the world, and it didn't matter if you were first world or third world. I would see whole communities choking under the weight of their own garbage, inevitably made of food waste and plastics. And so when I was doing my Masters of Science in Innovation at the Singapore Management University, the capstone project required me to launch a hypothetical startup. And the challenge was that if money was not an object, then what would we do?
Right.
And my quest was to use garbage to combat garbage. And it led to the displacing of single-use plastics with a new material created from agricultural waste.
So how did you, identify the gap in the market for containers that address food waste sustainability?
Okay, that's really interesting because I first noticed the gap in the market during my research into sustainable materials. I scoured the internet for innovative alternatives, bought a few products to understand what was available. One particular product caught my attention and was made up from an organic, nature-grown material, which sounded exciting at first, but the reality fell short. The cost was astronomical, and the air freight alone was more than double the price of the product.
Oh, wow.
And when it arrived, I was fascinated. The product was raw, it was unpolished, completely unsuited for Singapore's tropical climate. It started crumbling. And to make matters worse, a friend pointed out that it was infested with book lice.
Oh, dear.
And so I contacted the company, and their response really took my breath away. And that's when I realized I was onto something. Their response was, that's the best we can do.
Oh, okay.
And at that moment, it was pivotal for me because I knew that I would be able to do, and it was required in the market for something that was more durable, much more sustainable, and truly fit for purpose. And that's how the Alterpacks journey began.
I see. Well, Alterpacks food containers, they're not only robust, reusable, and biodegradable, but they are also made entirely out of food waste, which is very interesting here. So can you walk us through the R&D process of developing your containers? What kinds of food waste goes into your final product? And where do you source your materials?
Yeah, so we source, process, and manufacture in China. And just to clarify, it's the raw material we use is made of food byproducts and agricultural waste. It's not your char kway teow or your bak chor mee or, something that you would dispose in the bin. So but this is already a recycled material, and it's already gone through the system. And it would have been used as animal feed or dumped into landfills. And our proprietary technology converts this waste into a plant fiber material. It looks and feels like paper and cardboard, but it's made up of 100% organic waste with zero plastics, yet has the functionalities of being able to hold soups and oily foods. We then deliver this processed material to a manufacturer within the vicinity to create the Alterpacks products at scale. And this results in an advanced material product made from 100% organic plant fiber with high temperature tolerance that can go from freezer to microwave, no spills, no leaks.
Oh, wow.
So let me pass it to you, Hong. I'm just going to... What do you see? Describe this to me.
So I am seeing, for our listeners out there, there's water in here. She brought in some containers. It looks like This is made out of food waste. Like, I'm speechless here.
Absolutely.
This is containers that we've
100%
seen.
plant fiber.
Oh.
Absolutely no coating, no plastics. And here's the challenge to you. I want you to smash this down, like slam it shut.
Okay.
Okay, so slam it shut. And it's a container that you said it's filled with water, right?
Yeah.
Now I want you to turn it upside down.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Have faith, woman.
Oh, no leakage at all.
And that's a sustainable material.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that is what technology is able to do.
Oh, wow.
So the next time you think of a food byproduct or what a manufacturer is processing that can be disposed, think Alterpacks, because it's not what you throw away, it's what you make do with it.
Okay, so I'm seeing little kind of images on the lid as well. I'm seeing a microwave. So does this mean that I can even just put this in the microwave and
Absolutely.
it's not harmless? Wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely. And that's a great point you bring up because, you know, when you put a plastic bowl, the tapao,
Yeah.
that the auntie, if you go and buy fish soup,
Yeah.
she'll give you that tapao
Yeah.
bowl, right? Would you put that in a microwave?
Definitely
Plastics?
not.
Please don't. Please don't.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you actually use other forms of agricultural materials, they need a coating. And then if you're using paper, think about it logically. Can paper hold water? What do they have to do in order for that paper to hold water? There has to be a coating.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. This is a very great invention that you've done here. I'm still stunned by the fact that this is made out of food waste. But were there any, difficult design or production hurdles that you faced when you first started Alterpacks? I mean, I'm sure this final product wasn't the first thing you came up with and then it was a success, right?
No, you're holding like version number 22. So, the thing about when we started Alterpacks, we knew we were offering like, if we went up to a customer and said it was a simple alternative to plastics, that's not going to be enough. And it was crucial to create a really high-performing alternative to plastic and not just another eco option. And consumers expect functionality.
Right.
Our material had to be strong, durable, work seamlessly in freezers and, as you said, microwaves. And here's the clincher. It had to be cost competitive.
Oh, yes.
And on the production side, the manufacturers had to replace their raw materials with ours while following strict steps to protect our IP.
Okay.
And we didn't need to change their machines. So that's the great thing about our technology. But the process requires meticulous adjustments and close collaboration as we refined our materials performance. So every step, from designing the products that suited our materials' unique properties, fine-tuning manufacturing, it was a learning curve, but it's what shaped our innovation today.
I see. I mean, version 22, and it's working super fine here. But I mean, how do you ensure that Alterpacks containers themselves also do not contribute to environmental problems like plastic pollution throughout the, entire product life cycle from creation to disposal? How do you dispose of this as well?
Yeah, that's a great question because we have to ensure the Alterpacks containers are sustainable from start to finish, and it's a rigorous, multifaceted approach. One, let's look at the circular economy focus. So we use spent grains, agricultural waste, materials that have already gone through one life cycle. So it's lived once.
Yeah.
And this avoids competition with virgin resources and promotes a closed loop system. Two, we have to think about what happens when it's dead. And,
Right.
The end of life, compostability. So our products are fully compostable, returning nutrients to the soil instead of lingering as waste. And the third one is that we have certified sustainability. So our materials are internationally certified, including TÜV Rheinland home compostable certification, earned after 9 months of testing, including trials with earthworms to prove its environmental safety. So from sourcing locally to producing to reducing transportation emissions, we're constantly innovating to ensure Alterpacks doesn't just avoid contributing to plastic pollution, we're actively supporting a sustainable future.
I see. Well, more than a third of all food produced goes to waste globally, according to a 2024 report by the United Nations Environment Program. Meanwhile, half of all plastic produced is made for single-use purposes, such as disposable food and drink containers. So, Karen, how do you convince businesses to adopt food waste containers when they may not be aware of the larger implications of food waste on sustainability?
It's always an uphill battle because the food waste we use is actually food byproducts. It's materials disposed during the food manufacturing process. And, it's about not selling our products. I mean, that might surprise you. It's not about selling our products. We work with businesses to understand their challenges and tailor solutions. So, for example, if a company struggles with soggy takeaway containers, we adjust our materials properties to improve moisture resistance. It's about offering innovative solutions that benefits both businesses and the planet. And just to tell you how much of an uphill battle it is, I recently spoke with a local F&B brand in Singapore. Their procurement head was candid. They were reluctant to switch to an eco-alternative even if we met the cost and performance needs.
Oh, wow.
They felt it would be disruptive to their supply chain. And they only saw a change happening if driven by government regulations. So, not to be deterred. Essentially, it just highlights the need for greater awareness, a shift in mindset. And by choosing Alterpacks, businesses who do so are not only getting a high-performing product, it's also a partner with us dedicated to helping them achieve their sustainability goals.
Right. Well, speaking of awareness here, have you partnered with any organizations or businesses to, help educate the public about the importance of sustainable food waste solutions?
Absolutely. We believe in collaborating to really amplify our target and our impact. And we're partnered with organizations like the DBS Foundation. We're also proud to be a DBS Foundation grant awardee. And with DBS Foundation, they had a regenerative festival. And we were connecting with businesses and raising awareness with them. It was their idea about sustainable sourcing. The second one that we were participating in was really, really fun also. It was the Ulu Pandan Green Action Committee's Up Cool Day. Keep out of landfill initiatives. And it took place next to the Ghim Moh Hawker Centre. So we had all these, the people who lived in the HDB estates come out to really look at the containers and understand them. They had the same reaction as you. It's like, this is made of what? And then we're also right now working with the United Nations Development Programme in Indonesia to replace plastic hospital trays with our plant-based alternatives specific to Indonesia, made from locally sourced disposed coconut shells. And it's a project that tackles plastic pollution while finding a new use for what would otherwise be waste.
I mean, I'm not sure why anyone would pass on picking this up and using this as a plastic alternative, because it's doing the same functions and it's eco-friendly and sustainable. So speaking of spreading awareness, we've got our listeners out there. So tell us, Karen, what are some of the most common misconceptions people have when it comes to food waste management, and what would you like to teach our listeners who are listening in right now?
I think people often think of food waste as just leftover scraps, but it's so much bigger than that. It starts way back in the sourcing process, in the production process. You have tons of food byproducts that are discarded, incinerated because they don't fit the image, or they're just not being used in the manner that people think they should be used. And that's why we focus on upcycling, transforming food byproducts into valuable, durable materials that can replace things like plastic containers and trays. I think by tackling food waste at the source, creating innovative solutions, we can reduce our environmental impact and build a more sustainable future. And I really am not going to be here to preach on the pulpit. I'm as guilty as anybody else. It's a huge mindset shift. It's an uphill task, but we can do it step by step. And to also throw out these misconceptions or preconceptions we have of what food waste is and what we can or cannot do with it.
I see. So what are some of the emerging technologies or trends that you see influencing food waste management in the coming years?
Well, the future of food waste management is really exciting. I'd say look at the technologies like, obviously, AI, but also look at blockchain playing a big role. So think about this, AI analyzing food waste to optimize composting, blockchain tackling food from farm to table to minimize spoilage. And it's also time for us to turn the tables on wasteful, unsustainable materials that gobble up virgin resources. At Alterpacks, we are always thinking of the upcycling revolution. We're not just composting food waste, we're transforming it into a high-performance material. And so this reduces the need for things like plastic and even paper. And it creates a truly circular economy. So it's giving food waste a second chance, a second life as a sustainable packaging solution.
Right. Well, back in 2023, Alterpacks raised $1 million in pre-seed funding and is currently running pilots in Singapore, Vietnam, and Indonesia. So, Karen, before we let you go here, what are your future plans for Alterpacks and what's next in terms of product development or expanding your impact on sustainability?
Well, we are moving to our seed raise right now. So looking for the new range of investors who are able to partner us on our journey. But innovations in the Alterpacks DNA. So we're always cooking up something new, new ways to make a positive impact and consider consumer behavior in the process. We're about to launch a game-changing product that will revolutionize how people prep their food. And it's something you wouldn't expect from a material made from agricultural waste. So now think convenience, sustainability, and maybe a little steam. So watch this space.
All right. We'll definitely be watching this space. Well, thank you so much, Karen, for your time and your insights today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was Karen Cheah, who is the founder and CEO of Alterpacks. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.